Hello, coming to you from beautiful Kentucky, Midway. You can see those awesome clouds behind me. It's a little bit hot out here today still, but we had a bit of a reprieve from the humidity and that just stifling temperature. Now it's not quite so bad. I got a little cold inside my house with the AC, so I popped out here really quickly to do the video and to check in. I've been so excited about sharing with you my adventures in Spain. I had such a interesting time, a wonderful time. It was like the most incredible blessing to finally be able to go to Spain and step on a piece of earth that relates to so many things that I have read about and studied and taught about for so many years. So I just am on fire to even share that with you. And I started with the topic of kindness. And I have about 10 posts, I think, that I'm going to put out for you. And as I just share my journey. And in addition to the kindness post, I hit post number 2, very deep, very serious, even controversial, all about traditions in Spain. I picked 2 iconic or symbolic customs that maybe everyone would think about when they think about Spain: bullfighting and the song and dance of flamenco. From there, I wanted to personalize it, pull it into my own cultures and customs and things that we do here in the States, in Kentucky specifically. And one thing that connected it easily for bullfighting, you know, I was in Portugal just for one afternoon, and in the train station there were 2 big huge life-size sculptures of bulls, and that made me think of the horses that we have in Kentucky. We have Gallapalooza, I think, in Louisville, and then several years ago in Lexington we had all those sculpted horses just spotted around the entire city. And then my sister, who works for visitlex.com, she sells Lexington around the nation and brings big groups in here. I wish you could know my sister, because she is like awesome with a capital A. She is just amazing at what she does. And anyway, I was chatting with her about the horses that we had in Lexington, and apparently those were sold years ago. Private vendors came in and bought those. She said that there's one up, I think she said, in the Hyatt in Lexington inside the hotel and so forth. But anyway, that reminded me of the horse racing industry. And believe me, there is a lot of controversy around that. Although it's not violent, it can be. And of course, animal rights activists would not be fond of racing horses and all that entails, and the corruption that may be there, like hormonal injections and steroids and all of that. So that's also blanketed in some sort of controversy. We had traditions that are now illegal in Kentucky of cockfighting, even dogfighting, I guess. And that kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the cruelty factor of bullfighting. I don't really take a stand in my blog post, and I'm not trying to stir up controversy. The point was that, what does tradition do for us? Why do we cling to tradition? And that could even be in our family. The week before, I posted about our family tradition of Friday Family Fun Night, Friday Friend and Family Fun Night, and why that's meaningful and why that's important. And there's something about tradition and custom and culture. It defines us. We identify with that. It connects us to a legacy, to our heritage, to the past, good, bad, and ugly. But it's powerful. And then the other tradition I talked about from Spain would be that image of the flamenco dancer that we've all seen, the beautiful costume, the dress, the makeup, you can kind of think Gitano or Gypsy for that, and just the beauty, the mystique that comes with that. And I love that music. I love the flamenco, the guitar, the singing, that loud tapping that you get with the feet, and then the castanets, and the that music, that song that comes with it, that's so guttural and deep, and half of the time I don't even know what's being said. It's like the opera. I need some kind of like a translation or something to read as I go along, but it doesn't matter, because the music is so stirring and moving that you're connected in, even if you don't understand literally what's being said. And it's just such, it's beautiful. And I thought, what did I grow up with that was equally stirring and passionate and beautiful? And the answer was bluegrass music. It's kind of like country music, and I don't ever say I'm a country music fan. I don't really listen to country music, but those old spirituals that are with that folk background, that folk music style, that bluegrass style, boy, they grip my heart. I think because that's what I heard as a kid a lot. And it's powerful. It's equally powerful. And so anyway, on my blog post, I posted about, and I try to discuss and just tap into what tradition does. And of course, I'm going to draw it back in to my Christian heritage, my Christian beliefs, and the traditions that are there. Look at the Bible, read the Bible, look at the Hebraic traditions and culture and custom and the Jewish way. It's all interwoven for a reason. We have tangible symbols that we can still partake, like communion, the Eucharist. We can partake in that because it's meaningful. It's been going on for a long time. And it connects us to our ancestors. It connects us to something that's beyond ourselves, that transcends just the day-to-day of it all. But it's powerful and meaningful in our lives. That was what I was trying to capture in my blog post. So I hope you go over there and read that. Maybe tell me what you think. I would love to know. And then next week, something perhaps a little lighter about my visit to Spain. And I'm going back to the people and just the art and the beauty of lingering, and what it means to linger, what it means to just stop and relax and pause for a little bit to connect with other people. Spaniards are awesome. They're so polite and kind and jovial and filled with laughter, and they're empathetic, they care. And that's the impression that I was left with. And so I'm going to share a little bit about that experience as well. Kind of like the first post about how kindness translates in any language. But this one goes into more of their the tradition of the sobremesa, which is talking a little bit after you enjoy a wonderful dinner, and even the siesta, which just slows everybody down. So I'm kind of connecting the first two posts together with this third post. So I hope you join me. Also, I would love with a capital L, if you would subscribe to my newsletter. I am pushing out a lot of information there, which mainly deals with toxic thinking, overcoming toxic thinking. How do we get our thoughts right? How do we get our mind lined up with the truth? And often that's that our inner critic, the enemy of our soul, in a biblical sense, that we really need to fight against. We do need to take every thought captive. And I give you some practical tips, worksheets, lists to help you do that in a practical way. And I push that out every single month, free, downloadable, all for you, just to help you as we journey together. And it's obviously coming from my own experience, what I've learned, what I've done, how I've done it. I attribute a lot of Dr. Caroline Leaf, Switching on Your Brain, has really influenced me. And, I say that you want the scientific backdrop to all of that, you visit her. She is just amazing, and her teachings, her books really can light the fire on how to do this. But in my own personal experience, I share how I did that, how I took some of her principles and her teachings, but I applied them to my own life. So I could be the poster child for her. I keep reaching out to her, and I wish she would take me under her wing or something. But because I really could be that poster child. So, but it works. It's a lot of hard work, but it's worth it, because there is joy and peace on the other side of keeping your mind straight and keeping it on the right path and the right track, and taking those thoughts captive, putting a hedge of protection around your mind and your heart. There's nothing that I think is really more valuable in our Christian walk, because when we get all of that right, then we can go on and move into the purpose and the reasons that God has us here. And He has a purpose for you, and He says you are loved, you are His beloved, and He's not letting you go, and He will show you the way. But you got to get your thinking lined up first. So, all right, God bless you. Hope to hear from you. Ciao.